Today we're going to be revisiting the game South of Midnight, but more specifically some promo material created for the game. A documentary was made on the game, and within that documentary is an individual that we will be focusing on. Meet Kishona Gray, an individual used in the documentary for her expertise in DEI and all things black. Let's listen to the quick clip, but Kishona is very excited over South of Midnight.
I am a huge fan of the Southern Gothic genre. I learned about it during the American Horror Story. I think one of the seasons of American Horror Story really leaned into it. I love when we find a word to describe a thing. But I also realize that a lot of the Southern Gothic kind of theme is just present in the everyday lives of Black Southern folks, Black rural folks. Our houses may not look that great, the foundations might be falling apart, but inside those spaces is so much love and care.
You must be wondering, Savvy, what could we possibly garner from that? It was a very innocent clip of sorts. And yeah, I would agree with you. It's very innocent. A month after this came out, Kishona retweeted the clip that she was in and said, "Okay, I have a confession. I have not played this game yet, but I will. Promise, LOL." So your voice of expertise was given on something that you have campaigned for. More representation, more stories of a thing that you like, and you don't even show up? That's a little silly. Now, this is what Kishona's profile looks like. Intersectional tech, Black cyber feminism, cite her work, gray test, welfare class scholar, gamer posing as a professor, opinions are mine, but should be yours. Let's see here. It looks like Kishona's got some connections into Microsoft, intersectional tech, Black praxis in digital gaming, MIT comparative media study and writing, cultural production of gamers and trans-mediated culture. And here, by Microsoft developer, gaming for everyone, Blacks in gaming, Dr. Kishona Gray, fireside chat with Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me, another DEI expert of sorts. Kishona has got quite the advisory body. Advisory board, expert committee, laboratory for women's rights online, gender equality at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Paris, France, 2024 to current, advisory board for the Games Institute, University of Waterloo, advisory board central for digital narrative, University of Bergen? Sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing certain things. Advisory board feminist frequency. An advisory board Rising Good Gamers. Advisory board Games and Online Harassment Hotline. Advisory board Logitech G Academy. Also sponsors somebody else who we'll be talking about in another video. And my personal favorite with a maximum amount of connections to look into, AnyKey Advisory Board. Here's another piece put out. Race, gender, and deviance in Xbox Live. Theoretical perspectives from the Virtual Margins, 10th Anniversary Edition, 2nd edition, by Kishona Gray. Race, gender, and deviance. Building off of the success of the first edition, author Kishona Gray introduces the audience to a perspective on console gaming environments called multi-mediated interactive console environments. This new chapter provides a necessary understanding of these dynamic digital communities, adding console games, which have been heretofore left out of the conversation. Very fascinating. If we come back up here, we see Rachel Cowart. This is Dr. Cowart, who received $669,000 US tax dollars from DHS for a 2-year contract to look into terrorist recruitment and extremism in video games. However, the report did not yield enough evidence to continue her work. That is putting it very lightly. So now she's moved on to the ever important topic of Taylor Swift addicts. Anyway, I digress. She says, I spent the better half of the week at Alt F4 conference at Lawrence Technical University speaking about community and growth in games in an era that seems to be dominated by hate and exclusionary rhetoric. This is all made up, mind you. The only hate and exclusionary rhetoric tends to come from their side. The conversations were lovely. The student presentations were exceptional, and I leave with a whole host of new colleagues and friends in my timeline. But here, we see extra special love to the incomparable Kishana Gray, who let me spend some time in her aura. You mean gravitational field? Same thing. Alt F4, what could it be? Keynote speakers. The conference seeks to revisit the social and cultural implications of Gamergate on its 10-year anniversary. To be held over 4 days in September 2024, this gathering of academics, designers, and community participants is designed to extend current conversations of game development and game studies beyond the existing heteronormative bullshit. These are just bullshit words. Through offering an integrated, multi-perspectival digital humanities retrospective focused on social and technological sources and afterlives of Gamergate. And of course, we have Anita, Kishona, and Cowart. These three were among some of the more public individuals. However, most people only latched on to Anita. Both of these individuals have done their own deeds of DEI within the industry that unfortunately have led us to where we are today. I'm sure they're very proud of themselves, especially because they know that their reign of terror is coming to an end at some point. On top of that, we have just some other things here. Back in 2024, she did offer her thoughts. Experts explain why harassment and vitriol hurt everyone who loves games. Granted, she quotes herself here, so that's really great. We exist, Dr. Kishana Gray, on the gendered and radicalized culture of gaming. I'm sure you don't see the irony in this. And down here, we have Games for Change, another group that is actually WEF-backed, WEF, the World Economic Forum, another one of my favorite subjects to talk about. They are indeed funded by, of course, the EU and various bodies that all promote DEI. Of course, Games for Change works with Dr. Cowart as well, but naturally includes Kishana Gray. We have Khalif Adams, who was in the previous promo talking points. So excited for this. Go Sugar Gamers. Such an honor to be part of this, and many thanks to Keisha Howard for Sugar Gamers. Logitech G and Streamlabs, host of the 5th year of the creators for BIPOC DEI goodness down here. This isn't where the video ends, unfortunately. This individual who has dedicated her life to DEI, to inclusion, and to studying gender, unfortunately has a daughter. And you're probably wondering, Savvy, that's not cool. You shouldn't just say somebody doesn't deserve to have kids, and that's not where I'm really going with this. I really disagree, and I'm really, really concerned with this. A little J joy for those who love trans kids. Why do I have an issue with that? Why are you advertising your child to the internet? Why are you doing that? It's not, I love my child. It's not, I'm so proud of my child. It's not, look what me and my child did today. You're advertising your daughter to people you don't know. 2023. Don't be on this bullshit, Kentucky. I will fight y'all over my trans child. Don't make me have to leave my home to protect my family. Kentucky said the Kentucky Senate has voted to allow teachers to refuse to refer to transgender students by their preferred pronouns. What do you mean? What do you mean don't leave your home? I mean, I know that all the advisory boards that you're on are all in places where you would never actually travel to. God forbid you leave your home. Another one from 2022. Whew. And then when they learned he menstruates, they started using she, her pronouns. And Jay, bless him, said, "It's okay, mama. I'm used to it." This is in reference to this tweet. Radiation protection program. Before we take any x-rays, it is our practice to ask all female patients age 10 or older if there's any chance they could be pregnant. Shouldn't this just say menstruating patients? My Jay is 9 and has started his period. I also want to make sure that they don't ignore asking just because he isn't read as a girl. Once again, trans folks got to be their own advocates, especially Black trans folks. Trans children get angry too. You don't want to see Jay angry, world. Jay pops off like mama. My child cannot and will not be erased, assigned girl at birth, but had the courage and bravery at such an early age to tell us, I'm a boy, call me Jay. Once again, this individual has dedicated her life to this gender ideology. And the child probably just wanted attention. And the only way to get that was by saying she was a boy. There are many such cases of this. And of course, there's no father in any single picture. There's no mention of a father. I'd rather just roast somebody for inflicting damage upon fiction. But this is very real. And somebody who can't see what they've done to their own child shouldn't be listened to at all. This isn't somebody who loves people. This is a narcissist looking for attention. And it is seen all across their work and the way that they speak. Opinions aren't mine, but should be yours. So where do we go from here? An individual who works for Microsoft or has at least worked with them, who advocates for DEI and representation, but won't even play the games that are targeted towards her. What are we supposed to do? How do we move forward with this? And to be honest with you, I don't know. All we can do is talk about it and expose it, but at the end of the day, Microsoft doesn't need its games division. It could shut it down tomorrow, and they will actually benefit from that because of where their money actually comes from. So it's just a little sad. It's just a little depressing. But to bring it back home, just remember, they don't even play the things that they preach about. And I think that's really sad.